Hey everybody, and welcome to Moviegoer. I'm Max Forrest,
I'm Paul Lee.
and today we're doing a solo anything, where one of us picks a movie, anything, and reviews it.
Today I'm doing American Psycho, the Christian Bale classic. So this was my first time seeing American Psycho. Of course, I've seen the memes and famous lines taken out of context, and I knew it's supposed to be a satire. But other than that, I was pretty much going in completely blind. So, right off the bat, it's really funny. I would say most of the movie is actually a comedy, until the last act when it turns into a thriller. The narration was really funny all the way through. How the whole cast and Christian Bale especially plays the whole thing straight, I don't know how they kept it together on set. The absurdity is off the charts. It was played so well. I was cracking up at the running gag about the super overly dramatic reactions to the business cards, like pure satirical gold. But more than just being genuinely funny, it was very thought-provoking too. Towards the end, it leaves you unsure what's really real. Did he actually kill all those people? How much of the movie was a hallucination? If all the events are true, did the lawyer he confessed to really get it all cleaned up? And if so, then that shows how people with that kind of status really can get away with anything. But also, did he really kill the real Paul Allen? I mean, everyone is so shallow and full of themselves that they don't even know each other's real names. Did he actually know that was the real Paul Allen or some other schmuck? It left me with a lot of questions, but in a good way. The kind of questions that will require a lot of rewatches. I love going back and finding more clues and hidden foreshadowing, so this is definitely one of those movies I'm going to be revisiting for the rest of my life. To me, really, the scariest parts were how shallow and fake everyone is. And what's crazy is that kind of behavior is all over the place now. You see it all the time on social media with these, influencers with their morning routines and over-the-top personalities with those dead, soulless eyes. Another reoccurring gag I thought was pretty funny was his, super over-analyzing of the music. Like a real music enthusiast. What's wild is that's how, me and my bandmates talk about music in our interviews and stuff. We get super passionate about the production of the songs and comparing and contrasting albums and everything. I was literally laughing out loud how similar the stuff he was saying to what I've said before, and I started thinking are we psychos for loving music that much? I don't know. But I thought that was pretty funny. Now, I have to talk about the camera work. Super simple, but extremely effective. The use of wide-angle lenses for the close-ups really exaggerated the characters' features and makes the viewer feel so claustrophobic and uncomfortable. Really, actually, I don't think there were any longer lenses used. Every scene was shot in a way that makes the audience really feel like they're in the room with the characters. It's a technique that is really effective in comedy and horror. So it was the perfect way to shoot a movie that blurs those lines so well. Overall, I really enjoyed it. Definitely a big thumbs up. I'm going to be adding this to my collection for sure.
Nice. So, you really like this movie.
Yes.
I love it. It's actually my comfort movie. I have to say. I don't know why. I don't know what that says about me, but it's my comfort movie. So, story, I think I told you this. Christian Bale was kind of on the edge of playing the character because he didn't know how to play it.
Yeah.
And he was watching Letterman, and Tom Cruise was on Letterman, and he was just laughing, but there was nothing behind the eyes.
Yeah.
And he called Mary, I don't know her last name, you should know her last name, and was like, her name's Mary, right?
Yeah, the director did.
And he's like, I know how to do this, after seeing Tom Cruise. I thought that was funny.
No, overall, I mean, it was funny. I really think it's a good comedy. It's a really good dark comedy.
Dark comedy, yeah.
And I was thinking if I worked on this movie as a camera operator, you wouldn't be able to use any of my shots because the camera would just be shaking the whole time. So I'd be laughing. These guys played it so perfectly straight, and nailed that over the top. Well, here's the thing. Back then, it was probably an over the top exaggeration of like how those people actually are. But like, I think now that we see how fake, I don't know, society, I guess, has become with like social media and everything. Like the whole time, I was like, oh my god, like this guy predicted these like morning routines that these influencers do, and he like does this whole narration. It was so funny, man. I was genuinely cracking up the whole time.
I like how he's doing sit-ups to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny too? That the scene where he's chasing the girl down the hall with the chainsaw.
Yeah. And
he's like waving it around. It's like I was like, oh, he's like imitating Leatherface there.
Now that's because you know how Christian Bale said on I forgot what show, that the character does have an arc. He goes from psychopath to psychotic. And you wonder, because he's chasing a woman down a hallway with a chainsaw in his apartment building. Aren't people going to hear that?
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking. Like, how much of this movie is actually hallucination?
Yeah.
Because there's parts where like he'll talk to someone and say a certain line of dialogue that like is like what I assume was like what he's actually wants to say, but then the people just like continue having the conversation as if he was speaking normally. And like that's why I was thinking, like, did he actually kill all those people in the apartment and like hang up the bodies in the closet, and you know, did he really chase this girl down the hallway and then like drop the
chainsaw?
Yeah, drop the chainsaw on her. But then like later it cuts to him drawing the chainsaw in the girl, like he's just doing like a doodle on the table. So I'm like, did he like imagine that? Did he actually do it? How did no one in the entire apartment building like hear or see what was going on?
That makes me think it was in his head.
But then, like, how much of it, like, did he actually... And then when he was going on that rampage, when he was just shooting everyone. Like, he shot that guy in the lobby, ran down, and then came around, and then there was a different person in the lobby.
Huh.
You know? So, like, I don't... Like, did he just, like... And, you know what's funny, too? That the guy in the lobby called him by the wrong name. He was like, oh, burning the midnight oil, Mr. Smith? And then he just shoots him. But his name is Patrick Bateman. And that's what I was saying. Like, no one actually knows anyone's real names in the whole movie. That's why I'm saying, like, was the detective even, like, investigating, like, was the detective investigating, like, the real Paul Allen? Or the fake Paul Allen? Or did the real Paul Allen just happen to go to London just by coincidence?
Then who was Jared Leto's playing?
I mean, he could have been anyone. Because he thought Patrick Bateman was someone else. Oh, did it do well when it first came out?
So, the film had a budget of $7 million and made $34 million.
All right, that's not...
Worldwide, which is, that's fine. It's timeless. It's definitely a cult classic. I've never met someone who didn't like it.
Yeah. You turned me into a fan. Yeah.
I have to return some videotapes.
Oh my god, man. It's like, you know, because my friends have seen it, and they'll quote that line, because, you know, it's funny, it's absurd. Or like I've assessed the situation and I'm leaving. Like, there's so many great, like, comedic lines. I mean, the one part that was disturbing was when he killed the dog.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, I always skip that.
That was messed up.
Yeah. Oh, no one likes that.
You know, which actually was kind of interesting, that scene, because it, you know, like I said, the movie starts off like a comedy, and it continues like a comedy, and all of a sudden it just like turns dark for that one scene in the alleyway, and then it goes back to being a comedy for a while, and then it like slowly starts turning into madness by the end of the movie, and then it's really... And then, like, the very end, it turns back into a comedy.
It has a very cryptic ending.
Yeah.
He's like, what does he say? Like, Paul Allen is in London. Or what does he say?
Yeah, he's telling the lawyers, I killed Paul Allen. And the lawyer's like, no, that's impossible. And then that's why he's like, you know, I had lunch with him, twice, a couple weeks ago, whatever, something like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, was the lawyer in on it too? And like, did he just cover everything up?
Yeah, it takes a few viewings. Here's something. So Willem Dafoe was directed in different ways. One way was to that he believes that Patrick Bateman is the killer, and another way he was directed to say that he doesn't know whether or not he's the killer. And I think another way too. And what she did was splice together.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's cool. So it keeps the audience guessing.
Yeah.
Where the detective's view is.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's pretty neat. I don't remember where I saw that, but I definitely saw that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool technique.
Okay, so you want to call it?
Yeah.
All right. So great. American Psycho, great movie.
From a new fan, I would say I recommend it.
Awesome. Okay. We're doing good. We did a good job today so far.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe and support us on Patreon. Thank you so much. And
We hope you enjoyed the review.
we'll see you next time.